As y'all know, I'm Angela Yvonne, and I am the host of Vegan Pop Eats, where we're changing the perception of veganism through conversation, cuisine, and conscious living. And I believe that it's dope over here on the green side, hence this panel. This panel is made up of four powerhouses up here, and the information that they're going to give you today is going to change your lives. And when I have this much power up here, I don't like to, I don't like to introduce people. I like people to speak for themselves because your words are power, and nobody knows you like yourself. But I know all these people up here. So we're going to start off with Dr. Shabnam. Please, yes, you're right here on the left. Introduce yourself. Tell them what your specialty is, and yeah.
Hello, everybody. What a beautiful room. Oh, is it on?
Right.
Oh, here we go. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. What a beautiful community. My name is Shabnam Islam. I'm a professor of kinesiology, the scientific study of human movement. So a lot of you may know me as Chef Babette's personal trainer as well. I also have my doctorate in educational leadership and policy because I'm trying to transition away from teaching in the classroom to changing policy standards of how we feed our kids. So I'm really excited to be a part of this panel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Coach Robert Moore, your favorite plant-based fitness and nutrition coach. And it's my goal to make living healthy simple by changing how you eat, move, and think. And so living healthy doesn't have to be difficult. It's making the simple steps to make it a part of your lifestyle, not somebody else's. And that's what I'm here to help you.
Good. Hey. Y'all know me. Oh. Yours working? Y'all know me.
Well, what do you do?
Y'all know I got a vegan restaurant in Inglewood. It's on Market Street. So when you fly into LAX, you're able by like 5 minutes away and listen to this little song. Stuff I eat, stuff I eat. If you don't want meat, try the stuff I eat. 114 North Market Street in Inglewood, California. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Excuse me. I'm Dr. Mills. I think a lot of you know me. My whole goal in life is to help people understand why we should be plant-based. God told us to do it, and there's a reason why it's good for us and best for us. And I want people to understand that so that it'll make the transition easy.
Okay. What I like for the first question to be is I'm a firm believer that you can be inspired by people's journeys, and just give me a quick reason as in why you chose to become vegan.
My reason was so vapid. I have to be honest. I was dared by a friend to go vegan for 30 days, and I did, and I could not look back. I could not look back to the injustices we face as a society and what we do to our food system. But at the end of the day, I also am a little vapid. I want to look like that at 72. And, I just turned 40. And so when Babette told me that she changed her lifestyle at 40 and I started at 35, I feel like I got a good step ahead. But really, I want to thrive like my best friend.
All right.
So mine is a little bit more heartfelt. I went vegan to be the best version of myself. In 2013, I lost my mother to cancer, and in 2014, my first son was born. And so I knew I was predisposed to certain things, and I wanted to do everything I could be and do to make sure that they didn't have to go through what I felt when I had to do what I had to do at the time.
Beautiful. Nice job, Robert.
I transitioned at age 40 when I met my current husband, Babette Davis. I met him and I had massive challenges. I think the very first date, he fed me my first vegan meal and took me running heels, and he ran the whole damn thing backwards. I was screaming and crying because I was like, how many more inclines? And I just realized after that day and the way that I felt after I ate the meal and the way that I normally felt when I ate, it was so different. I knew at that moment I was going to transition. That's what I did. And this has been the best thing I've ever done in my life, seriously.
I've told this story before, but I had become something I've been this at 14, and the church encourages its members to become plant-based, but I didn't think I could do it because I love eating meat. And so I didn't. But about a year and a half after I joined the church, I was having some personal issues that I couldn't get past. And one night I was talking to God about it, and he said to me very clearly, he said, if you want a closer relationship with me, you need a clearer mind. And for that, you need a better diet. You got to stop eating meat. And I remember the moment very clearly because I felt panic. I'm like, I can't do this. And so I said, but God said, if you want to be close to me, you got to stop. So I said, well, God, if you want me to stop, you got to take away the desire.
Mm.
And he did. And I stopped.
Really?
And again, that was September of 1974.
Wow.
That's been a long
Wow.
time.
And the incredible thing was, within days, I felt the difference in my health, in my thinking, in my energy level, and I realized this truly is the way I was supposed to live.
Yeah.
And that gave me my purpose in life. That I knew that my mission was to help people understand why we should be plant-based, and that we didn't have to live in fear that we would slowly fall apart or turn into cancerous lumps of tissue, that we could be healthy and avoid disease if we only ate the diet we were designed to eat.
Cancerous lumps of meat.
So let's touch a little bit more on the why, because,
Thank you.
veganism has, its own reputation, whitewashed. We're not gonna get all of our minerals, we're not gonna get all the things that we need. Let's talk about why we should become vegan. Because I know that we were vegan before we were colonized. I know that sometimes we eat out of scarcity, but I want to hear from each one of you, because you've been this way for so long. Why should people who have not decided to take the leap, or they have some kind of hesitancy, why they should? And I'll start with Dr. Mills and we'll come this way.
We should do it because it's what we're designed to do. It is what our bodies function best on. And the only reason we don't is because we are addicted. I've said it before that when we think of addiction, we talk about alcoholics, drug addicts, but you have not seen the face of addiction until you try to take a chicken wing from somebody. People will cut you. And again, nobody asked for fried chicken, ice cream, or pork chop in the delivery room. Everything we think we need, we were taught to want it. And it's a bad habit, and we can unlearn it and learn a better one, especially when we know it's better for us. People, step back and look. It's a corpse. It's a dead body. Like I told my nephew, if you eat meat, you might as well go to funeral homes and lick the corpses in the casket.
Oh,
Dang! God! When he gonna pass the mic to me?
Ooh.
Damn, y'all. Why you gotta say that?
Because it's the TRUFF.
Okay,
True.
all right, y'all. Okay, so I started at age 40. I had absolutely no idea. I just did it, and I felt better. Didn't need the Tums, and I mean, I got stronger, started working out at age 40, all of this at age 40. So I figured at age 72, I would give myself 6 months to do something with my legs that, us women, we look in the mirror, we always got areas we want to work on. For me, it was my legs. I was like, yeah, I kind of want them muscles to pop out a little bit more. So I thought to myself, can I show my folks that in 6 months, the human body will respond to the love that you give it or not? You understand? It will respond. So I'm going hard in the gym 5 days a week, making sure that by December the 7th, 2023, when I turn 73 years old, these legs are at least looking damn near like I want them. If they ain't running 100. And that's because I have control over the love that I give myself. I don't need no Bible to tell me what to eat. I don't need no preacher, and I sure don't need no dumbass doctor. Sorry, boo. Anyway, that's what I'm doing with mine.
Spicy.
She's so spicy.
Spicy. How you gonna follow that?
Okay, so we're gonna put next time. Make sure that
We
I sit on one of the. Okay, so the one thing about the statement that I want to work with is that word should. Should carries a lot of guilt and shame. So what I want to say, in your best interest. Why it's in your best interest to eat plant-based is a mixture of both of what they're saying. One, all nutrients, even the ones that you get from animal flesh, began in a plant. So just like anything else, go straight to the source. Like if everybody talk about you don't get secondhand information, are you gonna take secondhand information from somebody else? Take what they said about somebody else, or you gonna ask them directly about it? So you can do the same thing with your nutrients. One. Number two, and it really made sense to me once I had this thought. You eat to live, right?
Yes.
What life can you get from dead flesh?
Oh, that ain't no.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
On the reverse side of that, because when we all, I'm sure I know kids are, as soon as the life is taken from that animal, that flesh begins to decay, and you are eating decaying flesh. Now, on the reverse side of that coin, you have plants, flesh. No matter what plant, fruit, or vegetable you pick, until it goes bad, weeks to months later, the nutrients are still there. Third thing, when you get hungry, is it because your belly's empty, or is it because your cells need energy and nutrients? And what's the best source of energy and nutrients? Plants. So that's why it's in your best interest too. And when you remove the foods that you weren't designed to eat, you don't end up with the disease that your body's showing, because the disease that we call diseases and sickness and illnesses are just symptoms of what's going on with our body. And it's telling us, hey, something's off, let's do something. But instead of changing the thing that's causing the symptom, we just cope the symptom and try to make the symptom go away.
Wow.
So that's it. You use food as your medicine instead of food as your poison. That's the reason why it's in your best.
I gotta follow that. Like this panel is too big. Too much information. Okay, so why are we here today as a society? Misinformation, miseducation, media manipulation, all of those things. And we are seeing the tolls of it. And as an educator, it is my responsibility to teach future generations what is right, what is evidence-based, and what the science says. How many of you all have heard carbohydrates make you fat? Right? Let me tell you a quick story about when Babette and I got an Uber here today, or from the airport, and the guy was like, wait, you're vegan? How am I gonna get my energy? Well, glucose is the energy currency of the cell. We need sugar. Glucose, glycogen is stored in our liver and our muscles. We need that. To break down protein and fat as a source of energy, gluconeogenesis takes so much time, so much effort, and you cannot work at the intensity that you need to be working at to function, really, to survive and thrive. And so when we take the power into our own hands of learning what we've been taught not to follow, you are here today to spread that actual education, the true information. And the power lies within our community. And if we don't have people like us here today to tell you, listen, the science has been manipulated by who is paying for it. If big ag and big dairy are the producers of this research, they will continue to tell you that milk makes the body good, that eggs are the soul of what you should be having for breakfast. But this is the stuff that is killing us. It is killing our people. It is killing our country. It is killing the globe. And it is our responsibility to teach people that this is not the way.
Big good. Yes. Thank you.
Well, so now we're going to talk about the how, because a lot of us come from Southern roots, and most of the Southern roots are stemmed in slavery, which means types of food that we ate is from scarcity. We have a lot of food deserts in our space. And because we have a lot of food deserts in our space, a lot of us don't see a way out, because all of us can talk about it all day long. But how? If I'm living in a food desert, how am I supposed to become Dr. Mills or Chef Babette or Coach Robert Moore or Shabnam or even me? Because we have to make our health a priority, but sometimes if you don't have a clear path to it, it seems hopeless. But it's important. So how are we supposed to take that power back if we live in a food desert?
Great question. The thing to remember, our cheapest foods are the ones that are going to save us. The rice, the beans, the peas, the lentils, the quinoa, the potatoes, sweet potatoes. These will save us. And sometimes combining these foods like rice and beans gives us a complete protein for us to survive and thrive. And so what we have to get away from is the ease and accessibility of things. Like, it's easy to go to this fast food restaurant and get my beans and rice already made. But there is something about pride when we take in and we make and create our own food. There is joy. There is community. I come from Bangladesh. It is a third world country. We are poor. We don't have money. And so when we invite people into our home, we spend an entire month's worth of income just to invite you to sit at our table, because we can only show love through food. And majority of that, lentils, rice, eggplants, that's what we eat. And because every other diet has become westernized, we're now starting to see excess of cows, chickens, fish. And my parents, they grew up on the river. So when they ate fish, it's because they caught it. And now they're not vegan, but they have made the commitment to only eat what they catch. They stopped eating chicken, they stopped eating meat, and now if they want it, they gotta catch it or they're not gonna eat it. And so I think the thing to remember is going back to our roots means going back to those cultural norms of foraging, growing. We have to find beauty in that again.
So for me, the how begins with doing what you can with where you are. So you mentioned how to do it in the food desert. Well, if there is a Dollar Tree, a dollar store, the first how is to stop listening to the information of people who are at the height of their journey and try to be where they are.
Right.
So if all you got is a Dollar Tree and a dollar store, they sell frozen peas, frozen corn, they sell rice, they sell the frozen foods, they sell canned foods. Do I recommend you stay on canned foods your whole life? No, because of the high aluminum. However, if that's where you are, I'd rather you have some canned foods and rice than going down to McDonald's for $1.99.
That's right.
So again, it's about meeting you where you are. If you make the juice demonstration, you ain't gotta buy everything organic, but watch out for the dirty dozen. So it's be where you are. And you talk about food deserts, don't look over that small gym. If you have that small cultural store in your neighborhood that's got a little fruit market out front, that's your fruit store.
Yep.
That's your grocery store. Use what's available. And if you have to, it may mean you have to adjust where you're spending your money.
Beautiful.
You may have to give up some of your entertainment. You may have to give up. I know even if you're living on a low budget, you got something that you splurge on yourself with, whether it be whatever it is. Because I don't know what people spend their money on, so I ain't gonna call nobody out.
Gucci.
But you know what you spend it on, and it's not. Because I know not everybody spend their money on Jordans. Everybody not in that position, so that's why I say. Right. But everybody know their pocket and where they spend money because they like this is for me. This is my thing I'm doing for me. Well, that thing that you need to be doing for you is focus on what you put through your mouth because now you have the brain power, you have the energy to go make more or do something better. So that's the how in the food desert. The next how is make it simple. Don't complicate it. Don't make it more complicated than what it needs. Those are the first two.
Oh, okay. Well, here's a how. First, you gotta love yourself. Knowledge is power. You truly have to understand why you need to do the how. You really do. You can't just sit here and laugh at us and clap and be like, yeah, that was a good talk. And you go home and do the same thing you've been doing. Can't nobody get up and do no push-ups for me every day but me. All right. Ain't nobody getting ready to save your ass if you do not have enough love for self. If you do not appreciate the gift of the human journey, if you cannot give thanks to that God that you praise every day for this life, it's all you know. This is all you know. You might have, what's that thing we get every now and then? Something happen, you be like, ooh, that's deja vu. You might have a little deja vu every now and then. But check this out. Right here, right now, is all you got. Do you love you or not? Because I love me. I love me. And I don't want to have a poor quality of life. Longevity has its place, but quality is everything. God damn it, I don't want to get in the bathtub and gotta call 911 to get out. No, I don't want no life alert. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not buying one. If I go down, I'm getting my ass up. Unless something happens that's beyond my control. Other than that, I am taking care of the only I got. Y'all do you.
Don't forget, I gotta get that video from you.
Now it's your turn.
You like what she said.
I was about to say, yeah, what she said. and the bottom line is, we have to prioritize. Yes. And you got to make a decision because you can't be different until you decide to do different.
Okay.
And so that means that if you really want to do different, then that means you got to go home and all that meat and crap that's in your refrigerator,
get rid of it.
You got to throw it out.
Throw
it out.
And don't give it to nobody.
Unless you have a dog.
Unless you have a dog.
You give it to the dog. And then, look, I see cars riding through the hood, and they got these giant rims on them, looking like they're ready for a flood. And I know the rims cost like a lot of money. you know what? Get some regular size rims and use that money to buy some decent food.
Yes.
And drive, to where you need to drive to get some good produce.
Yes.
And you can't tell me if you got hair down your back and I'm actually long enough to
He did not.
start a tornado
He did.
if you don't have money to buy good food.
You did not.
That's true. That's true.
Come on,
He's
now.
making a choice.
We have
making
to
a choice.
prioritize our health. And look. Look. Everybody wants to feel good about themselves and look good, but our feeling good about ourselves has got to start with what's happening on the inside. There's nothing more expensive than chemotherapy.
Yeah, that's right. You better teach.
The average funeral is $10,000 to $15,000.
Okay.
Okay. Illness is expensive. Okay. So come on, let's get it straight. We're sitting here. We're having a kind of a good time. We're talking. Look, I see the business end of the American diet. I'm tired of seeing families crying around hospital beds because their loved one is dying. I'm tired of seeing people leaving this world before their time. And then, when people have got the diagnosis, then they're willing to do everything. It's like, Doc, what can I do? Tell me what to do. I will,
I'll do anything.
Yeah. But by then, it's often too late. It's like the Bible says, today is the day to make change. So if you guys know that you should do it now.
Please.
Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow just might be too late.
Please.
So honestly, throw that shit out.
That's right.
I'm sick of playing. Okay. Veganize your favorite recipes. One of the things that I've learned to do. My mama was she's still alive, so she's an excellent cook. So some of my favorite recipes of her, I've learned to veganize.
Me
And
too.
I mean, thank God she's learned to veganize some of her own recipes. She can kill some greens. She no longer puts ham hocks in it.
Right.
She's learned to use liquid smoke.
There
and
you
some
go.
garlic and
Whoa,
some
hey.
other things. Okay. She can hook them up. I've learned to veganize her chili. I'm still working on her cornbread recipe. Because she makes cornbread stuffing, and I want to make vegan cornbread stuffing. So I'm saying there's ways that we can modify our diet so that we can still enjoy food, make it healthy, but also make it vegan and get the garbage out of it.
Yes, thank you. That's beautiful.
But we got to make it a priority.
We do. We sure do. Wow.
Okay. Yes, with making it a priority.
Wow.
And I just want to leave you with this, is that I know that, you might have family members. You might have family members who are wanting to take the change because they feel like they're either too old to make the change or things of that nature.
Never.
I always like to say that when people say that they can't, it means they don't want to. You can do whatever you want to do. If you're still alive, you can do whatever you want to do. And for the mothers who are just like, well, my kids won't. The kids eat whatever you put on the table.
You buy it.
And I don't know what generation you're in, but in my generation, it's either you eating on the plate
Or you're not eating.
They get hungry enough.
They going
And I'm okay with
everybody.
being hungry versus me putting poison in your body.
Okay.
So we're going to open up the floor for questions.
Can I see that real quick?
Ooh.
He got something to say.
My nephews came to live with me when they were 14 years old because their mama was on crack. And when one of them got to my house, he looked at me and he said, I ain't vegan, I eat meat. I said, okay, well, you don't have a job and I don't buy poison. Okay. So here we are. And that was it. He was vegan in my house, okay? And I made sure that the food that I cooked was nutritious, it was delicious, and he was happy, and he didn't miss garbage. But it's like, no kid is gonna come to my house and tell me I want to smoke crack, and I'm gonna say, okay, you can go buy the crack and come to my house and smoke it. So why am I gonna let them eat poison? I mean, that's crazy. It's like, why are we letting tiny people terrorize us?
I agree. Yeah, no, you turn yours on. You want this one?
So we're gonna go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Does anyone have a question for Dr. Mills?
That's so funny.
Yes. She's coming with a microphone for you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm here. I'm glad to see all of you here. Dr. Mills, I read a story regarding you, and it was in, I think it was called By Any Means Necessary with McKerner.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and I said, wait, that makes a lot of sense. What you said, where the lady was overweight, diabetes, and high blood pressure, and you asked her, you said, do you want to be a vegan? And she just said yes. She didn't want to hear anything else. And when I heard that, I said, no, that has to be the way. Because you hear other people talking about it, you see other people doing it, and it's like a mainstream now. And I just wanted to keep up with what you're doing in terms of veganism, and same with all of you on the panel. This is very important. We're in the Bronx, and we see the food desert. And I went a few years ago. It was the borough president, Ruben Diaz, and he had something called sustainable foods. Because when you go to bodegas, the grocery stores, and delis, you do not see any fruits and vegetables. So I'm trying to get myself more involved with farming.
Oh, is that the bad one?
Good for you.
Gotta turn it on.
Is it on?
Came up and was teaching people how to farm.
Nice.
And he was also in construction work. He could look and say, wait a minute, you can't plant today. And he said, oh, we'll love you with tomorrow. He made his own compost and everything. He grew pumpkin this week. Grew into the neighbor's stuff. He said, whatever come over there is yours. You understand? So that's how he was able to share. It's for the people in the neighborhood. And this is important. That's what we're about. That's what we were doing. And we taught so many people back in Kemet and people today, that's how they learn how to eat. And also, North Carolina, right? Those are our people from Africa.
Wow.
All right. Let me give a little bit more of the backstory on that story, because actually that was a patient of mine who actually taught me a little bit of a lesson. This was a woman who came to me in clinic. I was working in a free clinic, and she had diabetes for 17 years. She was overweight, she had qualification, heart disease, and she wanted to get better. And I started talking to her about diet change, and I was trying to ease her into diet change. And instead, Kathy went vegan overnight. And over the next 8 weeks, when she started, she was on 70/30 insulin twice a day, plus glucotrol, plus 3 different blood pressure medicines and heart medication. Over the next 8 weeks, I had to take her gradually off her insulin, then off her glucose pills, and off of 2 of her blood pressure medicines. She lost 60 pounds without trying, and her qualification cleared up, and she was able to go back to work. And what she taught me was not to put limits on people, that to just tell people the truth and let them make change.
Like grow up.
Yeah, that's why nowadays I say I'm gangster vegan. I ain't playing. It's like when it's time to make change, make change.
I love that. Gangster vegan. I love that.
And right quick, I'd like to share a little bit about my journey when he said his nephew came in and he was on crack. I was one of those crack people. I can remember I ain't never get down on the floor except for crawling around looking for a rock. I done smoked a whole bunch of cornbread pieces, whole bunch. But the bottom line is when I was sitting in an empty bedroom at my mother's house and I was going through a piggy bank after sitting there getting high for about 2 hours by myself, on the floor, no furniture in the room. I'm going through a piggy bank, and I like to say the intelligence spoke to me and said, so that's what you do now. You all in piggy banks. That was the last day I ever was around cocaine, period. Period. But nobody could make that decision for me but me. It ain't no different than the dead cow ass. I'm calling it what it is. I don't care if y'all like it or not. It's no difference. You have to make the decision. Brothers and sisters, I am begging you. I'm begging you. Please make the decision. I'm so tired of my folks.
Dying.
Oh, and everybody, the black folks had the most diabetes than anybody. Black folks have the most heart disease, and black folks, come on, y'all. We can do better.
Yes.
When you pick up your Bible, stop lying.
Questions?
By the way,
Questions?
they don't
Next
wash
question.
the cow butt before they grind it up and put it in the hot
Do we
dog.
have any, do we have any questions for Coach Robert Moore?
Or just questions?
Or
Just
just
questions.
questions.
Just questions.
Okay.
Is it in our best interest to cleanse or detox our body before starting slowly?
It's always good.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't even think you need this damn thing. I think cleansing and detoxing is necessary often. You know, there is excessive amounts of research that supports intermittent fasting, that 16 hours fasting, 8 hours off, or fasting at least 2 days within the week or non-consecutive days. We've seen improvements in even clients with high obesity and diabetes. We see that it improves glucose function. So even in high risk populations, we're starting to see, if it's well monitored, also, I think with a medical professional, it's really recommended, because you need to rest the gut. You know how many people have like dead flesh for years sitting in their GI tract, just rotting away. And then we see incidents of cancer. We see incidents of, again, diabetes, heart disease, coronary vascular diseases. And all of these things are attributed to the way that we eat, right?
So to build on that, cleansing and detoxing are terms that have become overused. You can cleanse and detox every single day with the foods that you eat. For somebody that's looking to make the change, doing a 3 to 7 day juice fast or any type of cleanse where you're giving your digestive system a rest while still giving your body the nutrients that it needs, that is going to be leaps and bounds for you, because it's going to help your digestive and system in general, so that when you do start eating healthier, you can actually absorb the nutrients in the food, because it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Robert.
And I just wanted to touch on the detox aspect of it, because I like to tell people that veganism is like high school. And freshman year, you're eating all the faux meats, hot dogs, screaming to the high heavens, I'm a vegan. No, it's commercialized, and it's good to, because we want to do stuff that's familiar. But sophomore year, you're getting into Whole Foods, and you're limiting the, the barbecue wings and the faux meats and things of that nature. Then, junior year, your Whole Foods, you're doing raw. You're getting into that aspect. And then senior year, you're over here with Chef Babette and Coach Robert Moore. Y'all growing things and turning your nose up, because you can grow stuff in your living room. But each step that you take is a yes. So don't be down on yourselves on how you are, your journey and things of that nature, but just realize that your health is your biggest currency. And it's important for you to make yourself first. And what I said at the last one is that, our disease is intentional, because they know how powerful we are.
Mm, 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 mm,
And when you think of things like that, when someone's trying to steal your power, you should have a fire in your belly about it.
mm.
So you need to walk past Checkers and McDonald's and liquor stores. Y'all can have cannabis because it's part of our community. But all cannabis is vegan. I just
That's
want to
right.
let y'all know that as well. Yes. So we have any more questions?
Hold on, wait.
Ooh.
Babette,
Yes,
you guys need to hear from the best
Yes.
example possible.
Yes.
Can you tell them about what you just recently finished in terms of your cleanse?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just I periodically during the year I take about 15 days or so and practice food abstinence. So pretty much more liquids than anything. And I love doing the master cleanse. If y'all hip to the master cleanse, you can find that online. They do share it online. But it's a beautiful way to just give your, like you say, your gut a break. And yeah, it works. I've been doing it since 1990, actually. Yeah, really and truly.
So when y'all say she walks by you and you say, I want to look like that, it starts off with cleansing. It starts with juicing every day.
And
It starts
movement.
with going to bed when the sun goes down and waking up before the sun even rises, because that affects the dopamine system. She eats solely whole food, plant-based foods, and she's been doing it for over 30 years, plus exercising over 5 days a week. That is how you look like that.
We have more questions.
CKLS. It's
CKLS.
colon, kidney, liver, spleen. CKLS, and it's new body products.
New body products. Okay, we have a question ready. Oh, we have a question right there, and then we're going to her.
I just wanted to share, I don't have a question, but I wanted to share that over 30 years, nearly 30 years ago, I woke up one day, cold turkey became vegan. I ate chicken every day.
Yes.
And as you can see, 50. And I slide under the bed, I practice yoga, but not just that, but I'm a healthcare practitioner. And I watched what happened during the so-called pandemic. I know who was in ICU.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the comorbidity.
Mm-hmm.
I saw over 3,000 cases of acute kidney injury and renal failure. I saw diabetes, gout,
You saw all that.
obesity. I watched hypertension. I know who I saw in ICU. I know who the ward was getting. It was mostly people that looked like us, along with Spanish-speaking people. But it was people who were in the lines at Chick-fil-A. They were at the bodega. They were at the carryout. They were at the liquor store. I know what I saw. And I fought against mandatory vaccines. I fought it. We got an exemption. 52 members of our staff was out in one day. I tested positive and did not know it. I worked 10 hours that day. They wanted to know how come you didn't have any symptoms. How come I didn't have any symptoms? Because I go out there and I walk every day. Because I don't put what you all put in your body. I don't put the lotions, the creams, the hair products that you put on. That's how come I didn't get this thing until it was pretty much gone, and I did not know it. I only knew it because they required me to test because I did not have the vaccine. But I could have worked easily 16 hours a day. I worked 80 hours a week for almost 2 years straight. 2 years straight. I worked with these patients and never caught a thing. So, just as Chef Babette said, I'm tired of watching our people die and suffer with lifestyle disease.
That's right.
We don't have to. How can you have $100,000 car, $1,000 shoes, and you eat off the dollar menu?
Yep.
We have a really fun shoe.
All right. All right.
We have got to change.
Thank you for that.
Okay, we're right
All right,
here.
this young lady. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is for everyone. My mom is pre-diabetic, and she ended up, she also has congestive heart failure. She ended up in the hospital a few years ago. I convinced her to go vegan, but it only really lasted about a year until I moved away.
Mhm.
Vegan. And so my question is like more of the really early stages, just getting people who are actually struggling to take care of themselves, go vegan, like your experiences with people like that, because it's really hard like watching her struggle and her health. And, you know, she says it's hard. Like she doesn't like chickpeas. She says she doesn't like avocado. She doesn't like a lot of foods. I know, yeah. So it's really hard. Like her thing is like, well, I don't like the vegan foods that people eat and that I see online. That's natural. So my question is, how do I get her to go vegan?
Shit, sometimes you can't. You start. You got a mic.
I think that has a
So
verbal
my answer is
Give me
very
this one.
unpopular, but it goes back to what all of us have been saying. You can't do it for her. She is not going to do it until she decides to do it, and I'll tell you my story. A year and a half ago, I told my father I was going to move from Miami back to St. Louis to move in with him for 3 months to help him change his diet. He told me, looked me in my natural eyeball, and said, "No, you're not." Now this is a son, your youngest son, looking you in your eyeballs, asking you, begging you to help you because I want you to live. Fast forward, I buried my father last July. So I don't say that to dishearten you. I say it to say you can't carry that. You please don't carry that. It's not your responsibility to fix it.
You learn from it.
She has to. But what you do, you be the example.
Yes.
You live your best way so that the person that's watching you, because you got nieces, nephews, cousins, even people that are probably older than you, watching you, that you're going to influence. So you find the solace in knowing that you're influencing somebody, even though it may not have been the person that you cared the most.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, everyone.
I'm trying to say this without crying.
I know.
I feel everything that you just said that Coach Rob said, because my mother's 89 years old. Just got out of the hospital because she nearly died a couple weeks ago. And, people fly me all over the world to tell them about being plant-based, and I can't get her. But I'm still praying for her, still talking to her. And I realize you can lead a horse to water. But she's still alive, so I'm hoping that at some point God will get through to her. And that's all we can do. So just, do what you can, pray for her, and hopefully she'll come around. And then at some point, I can open up our Chairman Mile re-education camp where we lock them up and just force them to do.
And I just want to say to you too, your mom's journey has nothing to do with you. It's your mother's human experience, not yours. All you can do is be the wonderful daughter that you are, obviously, and hope for the best for her. But she will do what she has to do to get through this journey, as you will do what you have to do to get through yours. Okay? You've done your best. You've done all you can do. You love her. That's enough.
So we have time for one more question and then we gotta wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's a quick question. What do you think about sodium, adding sodium, or use sodium, add sodium to your food?
Okay.
We'll start with the doc.
Huh?
Start with the doc.
Okay. There's one thing I got to say because when people talk about the vegan plant-based foods, the first thing they say, well, there's all of that. So, who in here has ever cut their finger and stuck it in their mouth?
It's salty as hell.
Blood is full of salt. So meat is very salty. Okay. So don't talk about reason you don't eat plant-based products is because they're full of salt. So is me, okay? Now, I'm not saying you should build your diet around these plant-based products, but I'm just saying that does not make them any, more unhealthy than meat. And in fact, there's a study done at Stanford comparing Beyond Burgers to meat that shows that Beyond Burgers drop the cholesterol, drop the blood pressure, help people lose weight, and drop TMAO. Again, not saying you should build your diet around it because it is a processed food, but it can be part of a whole food, healthy plant-based diet. But in total, you want to try and limit your added salt intake or total salt intake to less than 2.5 grams per day, to less than 2,500 milligrams. So try to keep that in mind. You should limit your salt intake.
And I'm gonna make the food taste good, boo. But I like to use Bragg's liquid amino.
Mm-hmm.
It has a less sodium than regular table salt, or even our pink sea salt.
That green?
Huh?
There's a green salt substitute?
No, I'm just been using Bragg's
okay.
in the restaurant. That's what, and we water it down because it's highly concentrated, and you don't need a lot of sodium. Makes you swell, just not that cool. But yeah, that's what
Oh, you going?
I'm done.
My thing is to get natural sodium, so add some celery to it. So there are ways that you can, because sodium is still a mineral that the body needs. However, you don't need a concentrated form of it. So get it from the food. And there are so many other herbs and things that we can add to food to enhance the flavor that you don't really need the additional salt.
Did you say you use one? Oh.
But as the doc said, sodium is necessary. Like sodium, potassium, magnesium, you need all of these things for metabolic function. If I've got clients that are running marathons, that are exercising outdoors, that I have guys that are working construction, they're out in the sun all day, you need to replenish your sodium that's lost. Having salt tabs or even drinking some extra, because you will cramp, you will perform less effectively. So if you're not expending all these calories, if you're not expending all this energy, then is it in excess? Yes, we don't need it. And over time, it can chronically inflame, bloat us, but you can see that. I think a really great way to determine if you need additional sodium intake, I do this with my clients, if they're outside, we take a look at their clothes. How salty and sweaty? Do they have sweat stains on their clothes? If we see a lot of sweat stains on their clothes after they dry out, then they need to increase their sodium intake for the day.
If your shirt stands up by itself, that's too much salt.
That's true. So, it's about playing with it a little bit, but hydration is key. Yeah.
Well, I like to thank you. You want one more question? We got one more right there.
I can't even get it out. Because you were saying about your mom. My mom is 88 now, and she had heart failure and lymphedema, and I lost my sister and my father the last 2 years. So it was kind of, hard to see, and being obese. So just to tell y'all that this happens, we all lose out. So
Thank you for that. And thank you to everyone who came in for this panel. Let's give it up for